Everyone, and welcome to my third video. My name is Jessica Peterson, and I'm a licensed social worker who provides outpatient mental health and substance abuse therapy for Harbor Beach Hospital right here in the medical clinics. So the last 2 days, I've made a couple videos talking about the stress and dealing with stress during a pandemic like COVID-19. And today I'm going to take a little detour and talk about something just a little bit different. I want to talk about recovery and addiction and how that looks differently when we're having to self-isolate because of a pandemic. So I want to start off by talking about people who are recovering from substance use disorders, drugs or alcohol. Um, the nation is seeing a serious risk for relapse because of the things that come along with self-isolation. So when we're in recovery, we are told to reach out to people, told to gain strength and support from other people, 90 meetings in 90 days, reaching out, support, that physical contact with people. Well, with self-isolation, that makes it very difficult for that connection. Not to mention the anxiety that comes with a virus like this. Anxiety can be a big trigger for addiction, and boredom. Boredom and self-isolation. Boredom is another big trigger. Um, so addiction can be sometimes called the disease of isolation, which speaks a lot to what's happening now in the world and having to self-isolate ourselves. I'm going to share some tips with you, and just like I said in my other videos, I want you to look at these tips, and they may not work for you. They may work differently for everyone, and you may pick a couple that you want to choose, and that's okay. Keep an open mind and try some of these things and see what works best for you. I also want to say that if you're watching this video and you're not in active addiction, if you're not in early recovery or recovery, maybe you're watching this video because you want to share this with a loved one, and that's great. This is a time that we need the most support. So, number one, consider listening to recovery motivational speakers. So I pulled up a site called recoveryspeakers.com, and it has a whole library of recordings and guest blogs that are covering all aspects of addiction, treatment, and recovery. But you can also use a site like YouTube. You can search recovery motivational videos. You can search videos for depression, anxiety. There's tons of videos even out there like this one right now that talk about addiction and COVID-19. So if you have the opportunity, take a look at all that information, put that in your schedule, make your recovery a priority, excuse me. Um, so that's number one. So number two, important. Stay connected any way you can. If that's a phone call, great. Call your loved ones, call family, call friends. If you have a sponsor, check in with them. Call. Great if you could FaceTime or Skype or Zoom. Do that also. It's very important to stay connected and reach out. And if you're a loved one watching this, check on those people in your life who are in early addiction, early recovery, check on them. They need your support more than ever right now. That's number two. Number three, since I talked about boredom being a big trigger for addiction, number three is important. Stay busy as possible. So this is a great time to whip out that list of activities. Going through rehab or addiction counseling, you're always asked to make a list of activities if boredom is one of your triggers. Pull out this list, look at some of that old paperwork you might have, and Find things that you are able to do, even if they're just very small things. Stay busy. Some activities could be um, reading, watching movies, TV shows, playing board games. Could be, if you go on a site called Pinterest, you can research activities and tons come up. Not just even for addiction, but just for self-isolating during this pandemic. That's number 3. 4, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't feel like you're a burden calling and reaching out for help. Help is available. Again, I've included the crisis lines on this resource sheet. I'll put it in the comments. And I also put the resource links in the comments so that you can follow along with some of the things I'm giving you, some of the ideas I'm giving you. But call for help. Call a mental health professional. There is places that are open right now. Um, make those calls. Call a support person in your life. Do not feel like you're a burden. This is a hard time right now. Reach out for that help. Number 5, this goes back to looking at what are your triggers. Look at those triggers and see how you can avoid them right now. So maybe this is limiting your exposure to social media and the news about COVID-19 as to not spike your anxiety. Maybe that's taking care of yourself and your physical health. So maybe that's looking at your sleeping schedule and thinking, am I on the same schedule as I was before this all happened? Maybe that's looking at your eating. Eating as a well-balanced meal as you can is really good for your health. Are you drinking enough water? All those different things can contribute to, if you're not doing those things, spiking your anxiety, really shaking your whole mental health. And since mental health and addiction are so tied closely together, um, making you at risk for relapse. Um, Another one, it's very important to try to exercise any way you can. Maybe you're not able to take a walk outside right now, or maybe you can. Enjoy some of the sunshine. Maybe that's looking at a lot of the free exercise videos that are now available, and trying some at home exercise stuff. Get your body moving, and that will help your brain. Number 6, recovery podcast or audiobooks. So, right before I made this video, I went on my Spotify and I looked up some recovery podcast. I included just a few of them. That's the first things that popped up when I looked. I included those names in the resource guide, but listening to podcasts can be another way to gain that motivation you may have lost during this isolation. And the same goes for audiobooks. Um, I'm not sure if Audible is giving a free trial right now. They may be. Audible is one site you can get audiobooks on. So listening to books on tape. They can be books about motivation. They can be books about substance use, recovery. Check it out. Look at those things. Occupy your time. Oh, number 7, research online workbooks or handouts to go through. Maybe you're not able to go to your therapist office. Maybe you're not able to go to a friend's house, normally what you would have talked to about your recovery. Look online if you can. Look at some of these handouts and worksheets. Again, I included some of these links for just the first couple ones that popped up when I researched it. One of them is Smart Recovery. They have a lot of great worksheets available that you can look through. Maybe just spark your memory and as a good reminder for you of things you've learned before. They also have a Smart Recovery podcast too, so check that out. And 8, most importantly, a lot of these steps I talked about today are relying on you to be self-motivated. That I know can be very difficult, especially if you're not feeling good. Being self-motivated is very tough. So when you can, reach out to your support people, help them help you to stay motivated. Have them check in with you a certain time of the day. Um, Tell them what you want to accomplish or what you don't want to do, or avoiding your triggers or whatnot. Share that information with them. Um, Let them know you need them to check in with you. Reach out for that support. Again, if you don't feel like you have that support, reach out to a mental health professional. Reach out to a substance abuse professional. Reach out. Um, this is the time to do it. It's very important to do that. So those were my tips, but I want to back up just a little bit when I talked about doing some of that virtual stuff, doing some of that online things. I want to let you know that there's so many resources out there. Groups like NA and AA are all posting on their site that they have virtual meetings. There's even a section about starting your own virtual meeting. Peer 360, Peer 360 Recovery Alliance also has a great page about their virtual visits. Of course, I included these in the resources, and I may have missed some of them, but that covers quite a bit. And there's some great virtual meetings. And I know it's not the same as going to the actual meeting and physically being there with people, but at a time like this when we're trying to keep everyone as safe as possible, this is a great option. And I believe it even has instructions if you want to learn how to get on a virtual meeting like that. And I also have um, SAMHSA, which is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. They have a great list of virtual recovery programs and their links there. I included that in the resource section. And I want you to remember that you are not alone. It may feel like that right now. When we're doing self isolation like this, it may feel like you're alone, but you are not alone. You're not doing this alone. If you know someone you love is struggling with addiction or in recovery, please reach out to them, like I said before. Let them know that you care and you would like to help in any way you can right now. Um, I hope everyone can stay safe and healthy. Please try some of these things out. Please try to make an effort to help yourself and help others help you, and reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. Thank you for watching my video, and keep posted for more videos down the line. And let me know things that you would like me to talk about, things that you would like to know, and questions you have. Bye.